What is up, my spectacular Spotter Spy spectator spec powers here? You can call me Mr. Movie Fan, Mr. The Breakfast Club fan, because it is time for me to do a YouTube video on a DVD review of The Breakfast Club. That is right, the 1985 classic starring Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, and Paul Gleason, to name a few. It is the 30th anniversary edition DVD from 2015. So this DVD came out 9 years ago at the time of this recording, and this movie came out 39 years ago at the time of this recording, way before I was even around. So let's get started with this, shall we? So first of all, we have the cover right here with the title logo, The Breakfast Club 30th Anniversary Edition, and the cast in a picture together. They're posed in this shot, in this angle, to symbolize that it's not about just one of these five people, it's about all of them all together. That's what I learned in the film studies class that I took 6 years ago, back in my junior year of high school, that class that I told you about in some of my other previous YouTube videos. And I was like, wow, so symbolic, more meaning to it than you thought. Kind of cliche. And here's the side. Here's the back. Digitally remastered and fully restored from high-resolution 35mm original film elements. The best high school movie of all time from Entertainment Weekly. And here's this. Feel free to pause and read this if you want. There you go. And here's the picture of the casts sitting in the library. And there's them right there. Anthony Michael Hall with the cool sunglasses. And there's some bonus features. Rated R. It's directed by the one and only John Hughes, the director of 16 Candles and Weird Science. Other classic movies, by the way. And yeah, let's keep going. Let's go start with it, shall we? Oh, and here's the disc. Blank silver disc with just the words on it. That's it. And it says 30th anniversary edition. Really cool. This is arguably one of the best high school movies of all time, and I personally agree. So, in case you don't know what it's all about, it's about a group of high school students who get a Saturday morning detention. One's a criminal, one's a jock, one's a nerd, one's a princess, one's a basket case, and they all have to figure out who they are. And what makes that the mission? Well, the vice principal, has them all assigned to write a 1,000-word essay describing who they are. That's their detention assignment. And you have to watch the movie to see how it progresses. And they interact and socialize a lot during detention in ways that they're not supposed to. It's like they get to know each other and bond in certain ways. It's really unbelievable. Like, one of the scenes of them interacting shows that. One of the scenes of them interacting was all improvised. I learned that in the film studies class that I took 6 years ago in my junior year of high school that I told you about in previous YouTube videos that I made on this YouTube channel. It's really unbelievable if you think about it. My favorite, so like. And like, here we go. So like, yeah, I showed the bonus features. I showed the thing of the Entertainment Weekly, and it's a really good film. And there's a lot of symbolism in it too. Like, for example, what was I gonna say? Oh, I remember now. So there's in the opening sequence, there are these shots where they show a classroom and or some sort of room, and each of them resembles one of the characters. It's so symbolic, and like they also do crazy things around the school when the vice principal's walking away. It's kind of crazy, kind of unrealistic, but it's worth a watch. And like, see, when I first watched this movie in general, like I've watched clips of the movie before I first watched it in the whole. I watched clips of it back when I was in elementary school growing up, like on this TV right here you're looking at right here. That's the TV that I first watched clips of it back growing up when it was on TV. But then I like then I watched it in full in high school, my junior year, and it was really fun. Like watching it in whole, etc. And like yeah, it's really really good. You gotta dig in with this as much as like yeah, like it's like a there are some arguments and talk back talk scenes in this movie too, and I remember I was so like thinking, wow, this is so intense, and like it's really interesting. Like so the way they interact is very symbolic and unique, and like there are a lot of funny moments, and you know it's an R-rated movie, so there are inappropriate references in this movie. But you know that's high school. You're trying to figure out who you're gonna be for the rest of your life. That's what high school is about in a way. And you know now that I look back at it, I really miss high school. See, I graduated from high school 5 years ago at the time of this recording, and I really miss it every day. And whenever I watch this movie, it reminds me of it, and it makes me happy thinking about both those memories. You know what I mean? And yeah, like what was I gonna say? Oh, shoot, hang on, I'm sorry. Um, hang on, hang on, hang on. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, but yeah. Like, anyhow, it's a good movie. Like, yeah, like Oh, another thing, like one of the things that's interesting about this film is that in all likelihood, depending on the circumstances, you might be able to relate to at least one of the characters right away as soon as they show themselves up. They make their first appearances in the movie in the beginning of the movie as they play Don't Forget About Me. And like I know because I I was able to relate to the nerd right away, played by Anthony Michael Hall, as soon as he first showed up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am literally just like him. That is so crazy to think about. What are the odds, baby? Like that kind of thing, cliche. Like nostalgia. Like that's the thing. Like the filmmakers know what they have a certain reaction they're looking to get out of the audience, and that shows how they care about the film. They have a good vision. They really care about the audience. It really stands out like that, and that's one of the things I like about this film. I personally do. I really mean it in all my bottom of my heart. Sorry, just cracking my fingers. Ooh, hang on. Oh, oh, that hurt. Hang on. I'm sorry. Deep breath. Deep breath. So yeah, like yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like it. The actors, some of the actors, like some of the actors who first appeared in this movie, they're I know them from other projects, other films. Like Paul Gleason appeared in uh Die Hard. He also appeared in I think he did. I'm not sure. Not Another Teen Movie. I think he did, or something. There was a movie where they did a ripoff or parody of The Breakfast Club. I forget if it was Not Another Teen Movie or not. Please correct me in the comment section below, or remind me in the comment section below if you can. I know there's something about that. Um, Molly Ringwald, she was also in 16 Candles alongside Anthony Michael Hall. She was also in the Dahmer Netflix series. She played Jeffrey Dahmer's stepmother. And I had no idea about that, by the way. I almost didn't recognize her with the glasses. It's so crazy. Emilio Estevez was also in the original Mission Impossible movie from 1996, the Mighty Ducks trilogy, and he was in some other good movies too. But those are the only ones I'm most familiar with. And Emilio Estevez is also related to Martin Sheen, who played Uncle Ben in The Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, and he's also related to Charlie Sheen from Two and a Half Men. The girl who played I say Ali Sheedy. I only know her from this, but I'm sure she's in some other movies that are well known too. And Judd Nelson, I only know him from this too. Cool. Anthony Michael Hall was also in Halloween Kills as Tommy Doyle as an adult. He tries to kill Michael Myers. Evil Dies Tonight. I almost didn't recognize him. It was so crazy. Like, wow, he would play a role in that. That's so crazy and awesome. They all have good dialogue, and they really become mature throughout this film. That's what I really one of the things I really like about this film, and like it's really awesome. Like good references to high school, brings back nostalgia memories from high school. That's what the thing I really love about it. Reminds me of my high school days. Like whenever I watch it, it makes me miss high school, and happy / cherish the memories at the same time. And like, I forget. Did I show you the disc? Hang on. In case I forgot, I'm sorry. And God, I forget. Hang on. Oh, here's this. I forget if I showed you the side of it. Let me show you, in case I didn't. Emilio Estevez and Molly Ringwald. Here's this too. The best high school movie of all time from Entertainment Weekly. Feel free to pause and read if I forget if I already did that. I'm sorry. I forget. Digitally remastered and fully restored from high resolution 35mm original film elements. There's the cast in the library. It's some bonus features, rated R, directed by John Hughes. And I was like, one of the scenes where they interact in the library, at least as far as I know, it was all improvised. That's another thing that's amazing about this film. Like I said in the previous video, I think it's somewhat better in a way when it's all improvised because it makes it more artistic and a masterpiece performance-wise when it comes to film. I really mean that. And you see that's another one of the major reasons why this film stands out to me. March 24th, 1984, etc. Yada, yada, yada. And like the 40th anniversary of that date, March 24th, 1984, passed a few months ago. And I remember, see, like, I was talking to one of my friends at the grocery store about this, and I was like, it's crazy. Can you believe it? She said, yeah, it is. It never gets old, especially the cursing. The backtalk scene is so intense. I wouldn't do it, but it's entertaining to watch. Him backtalking the vice principal and, spoiler alert, getting more Saturday detentions. Like 6 or 7 more, I think. Yeah, something like that. I know it was over a month's worth, So, yeah, it was pretty intense. And it's crazy to think that it's almost 40 years old. I remember it was in its 30th anniversary. Now it's almost at its 40th anniversary. It's crazy how time flies nowadays, people. It shows you how time flies so fast when you're having fun. And I remember I did hear rumors that there was talks of a sequel many years ago, but the director felt like a sequel about them meeting in college, but I heard the director didn't want to go forward with it because, the film was good the way it is. And personally, I think it was very unique and artistic how they did this film. Like, don't forget about me, from the beginning to the end. And the way that they make their entrances and exits, it's so symbolic. And that's one of the things I really like about this film. And like, it's one of those films that's always going to live on for generations to come. Because, it's so iconic and classic, just like Jaws, Psycho, Rocky, etc. Rear Window 2, Manhattan Murder Mystery, Jurassic Park, etc. It goes on and on. Even Star Wars. So yeah, it's always gonna have a special place in my heart. Like when I first because I first watched it in whole in high school, and it's about high school. I really loved that. I really loved how I managed to do that. It's one of my favorite high school memories, honestly. It's like, wow, I am in high school now at the time of this. At the time I was watching this movie, and I was like, and they're in high school right now. And, high school doesn't last forever. Keep enjoying it while it lasts. Because, like, you go through phases and you go to the next phase. Next phase, and yeah. So, yeah, The Breakfast Club. Great movie, totally recommend it. 10 out of 10. And so sometimes it makes me wish I went to high school in the 1980s. But I was okay with going in the 2010s. But 80s seemed like a fun time to go to high school in a unique way. So yeah, The Breakfast Club from 1985, starring Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald, Ellie Sheedy, and Paul Gleason, just to name a few. Oh, and another fun fact: Rick Moranis was originally supposed to play the janitor in this movie, but they cast that other person. I forget his name. I'm sorry. But directed by John Hughes. Very fun, very entertaining, not slow paced. Something eventful happens every few minutes. And I totally 10 out of 10 recommend this movie. Alongside 16 Candles and Weird Science. Yeah, like John Hughes knew how to direct and write this movie. He's a good writer. He was a good writer and director. So yeah, Rape. Yeah. Am I forgetting anything else? I'm just trying to be sure one more time if I'm forgetting anything else or not. I don't think so. Oh, rate, favorite, subscribe, and even comment. And I'll talk to you people later. Peace.